that the concrete bridges are also decades old?
Yes.
Only one company in Ghana can give you that guarantee, and that is Gasem.
Cement that guarantees smooth finishing of plastering.
That is the Gasem Super Rapid 32.5R. If you want to have strong blocks for any form of construction, use Gasem Super Strong 42.5R. For your time-tested bridges like the Adome, multi-story buildings, highways like the motorway, then it is Gasem Extra 42.5N.
And the good news is, all these cement products are made right here in Ghana.
Gasem, 3 cement grades, unique quality. Gasem, the nation builder.
Nationwide Medical Insurance, the leader in private health insurance, has deployed superior technology to make your healthcare experience more convenient and exciting. With the Nationwide mobile app, you can order your prescription drugs and we will deliver to your doorsteps. With over 600 dependable healthcare service providers, you're just a step away locating your service provider of choice and accessing hospital claim information in real time. Our corporate clients are guaranteed timely corporate utilization reports. We provide on-site clinics to give employees access to healthcare in the comfort of their offices. Enjoy these amazing benefits and so much more by signing on to Nationwide Medical Insurance today. Call us on toll-free number 0800-222222 or visit our website www.nationwidemh.com. Nationwide Medical Insurance. Join the healthcare family.
You're welcome to the special half-hour edition of Newsnight tonight. And minority MPs accuse government of insensitivity towards the plight of cocoa farmers over the decision not to increase producer price for the 2018-2019 cocoa season.
So if you're telling me the cocoa farmer should not be given an increase, why are you increasing the administrative cost of those people living at the headquarters, living in air conditioning?
Also, Ashanti Regional Minister is warning of serious financial crisis if savings and loans firm First Allied fails to pay their depositors as uncertainty grows over the strength of the company to meet demands of its customers.
Some of them, this is all that they have. This is the fortune they've gathered throughout their life. And if they should lose this, I'm telling you, several people, if I'm not lucky, might even lose their lives, and that will be the end of them. The banking sector is so serious that we have to make sure that the financial sector is clean.
The depositors were on the streets today demanding payment of their monies. Tonight, we'll get to hear from management of the financial firm.
It's over 4 months ago. We've been going for our money at the bank. Anytime you get there, they tell you there is no money. If they have gone to buy estates in Dubai or whatever, we don't care. We need our money.
Former President John Mahama warns that only a united NDC can win the 2020 general elections as he targets that the party will win 36 parliamentary seats being held by the NPP.
In 2016, there were a lot of little petty problems in all the constituencies. Some people stood independent, others too, even though they didn't stand independent, they were undermining the candidate that we had selected.
And in business,
ISA gives positive outlook for the economy despite current challenges facing the country.
And much later, media personalities advocate that Ghana maximizes hot air balloon technology to show off some of the country's beautiful landscapes as they take their turn to fly on the balloon on day 2 of the Cowbell in the Sky project.
It was a great view, and we also saw the sunrise again like nobody has ever seen it before.
And the scene up there is such a picturesque, it's breathtakingly gorgeous, and I think as a country we should take advantage.
We'll get to hear from Joine's editor, Israel Lai, who was one of the 2 personalities who did the 15-minute flight above the Afienya Shire Plains. All that and more coming up here on Newsnight. You may want to join us with your thoughts and comments via WhatsApp on 0244 340 437. I am Emefa Apau. And in our very first story for tonight, minority MPs are accusing government of insensitivity towards the plight of cocoa farmers over the decision not to increase producer price of cocoa for the 2018-2019 cocoa season. Agric Minister Dr. Akoto Owusu-Efie announced that government will maintain the price of each bag of cocoa at 475 Ghana cedis. Government says it is unable to increase prices despite the depreciating value of the cedi because of the declining price of the commodity on the world market. Finance Committee of Parliament member and NDC MP for Bia East, Rachel Champong, is alleging that Cocoa Board is to cut down on its high operational costs and rather channel that money to farmers.
Very disappointing to hear this news because the farmers were expecting at least up to 500 Ghana cedis. You know, cocoa farmers are paid in cash and in kind. So if you want to raise the issue that the world market price of cocoa has gone down, as a result, we are going to maintain the producer price for the cocoa farmers. The question is, during the previous administration, they were getting fertilizer for free. They were getting these chemicals to spray their cocoa farms on time. As I speak, the free fertilizer distribution has stopped, and the farmers are asked to buy it at 80 Ghana cedis. School has reopened, and you look at the price of goods and services in the country. Rolling fare has gone up, cocoa prices have gone up, everything has gone up. So the disposable income of the cocoa farmer is going to be worse off. So they are pleading with government to at least increase the cocoa price for them so they can also make ends meet. They can also afford the goods and services you and I are affording. But they are raising the issue about the price of the cocoa on the world market price.
Yes.
But
isn't that justified? Isn't that justified? Where will government get money from to pay more for the cocoa?
Go to the headquarters of Cocoa Board. They've increased their administrative costs. They've increased their administrative expenses. So if you are telling me the cocoa farmer should not be given an increase, why are you increasing the administrative costs of those people living at the headquarters, living in air condition? The poor farmer who produces the cocoa for you to earn this income is not given any reward in this respect. So these are some of the things we're talking of. They are saying they're doing hand pollination. As a result, they will get more yield. It's not 100%. It's not every farmer that's benefiting from the hand pollination. But if 100% of the people were not benefiting from the free fertilizer distribution, you increase the price, each and every farmer will also benefit. So these are the arguments. And it's not only cocoa that we can use to sustain the cocoa farmer. We have other revenues. That's why we brought in the subsidy to cushion people who used to buy the petrol product. It's not everybody that owns a vehicle, but if there's a leave on that product, people will also benefit. So the government should find money. That's why we created the stabilization fund. So that when you were making a gain, you put in some money as a buffer. So now that the price has reduced, you bring back the money and give it to the farmers.
But presidential hopeful also of the NDC, Professor Joshua Alabi, has meanwhile promised that cocoa farmers, that when he comes into power, he will pay the highest producer price in the world if he's elected president. Now, according to Professor Alabi, the admission that the Ghanaian farmer produces the highest quality of cocoa in the world means the Ghanaian cocoa farmer deserves the highest price. But Cocoa Board PRO Noah Amenya has been defending the decision not to increase the prices.
The concerns have been factored into the PPRC considerations, and what the Chief Executive sought to do was to explain the dynamics of the pricing, the international market scene to the farmers, and that they would have to appreciate that if the world price is going down, at a certain point, it is obvious that you cannot continue to maintain the price at that level. If you have to maintain, then it means that you are getting support from another area to support the farmers. And Ghana had taken the decision that will continue to support the farmers, and therefore the price had been maintained. It is for farmers to now appreciate the efforts in the PEPs, which is the Productivity Enhancement Programs, which will help them get more cocoa so that they can compensate for the fall in the world price. Even though theirs is not being affected, many of the farmers who have taking this thing up are getting more money from 1 acre of land than it was previously.
You heard there the PRO of the Ghana Cocoa Board, Noah Amenya. Now, the crisis in the financial sector appears to be spread into other parts of the country after the collapse of the 7 indigenous banks. Ability of some financial institutions to meet the demands of customers gets tested every day. And in Kumasi, after several attempts to get their money failed, hundreds of customers of savings and loans firms First Allied took to the streets demanding immediate payment of monies they have lodged with the firm. Spokesperson for the customers, Justice Akwesi Echampon, tells Joy News they have given the regional authorities a 1-week ultimatum to ensure the company pays their deposits, failing which they will march to the Jubilee House. We'll get to hear from some of these demonstrators also. You heard earlier my colleague, the Prince Apia, interacting with some of them. They indicated that, of course, if their monies do not get to them, they would march to the Jubilee House to ensure that government gets it to them. But the Ashanti Regional Minister, Simon Osei Mensah, who received the petition, is warning that there could be deaths and collapse of businesses in the region if money belonging to these depositors are not released immediately.
For peacefully demonstrating and submitting their petition to me, we will do our best as to what we can do within the region and also communicate to the authorities above us, our superiors, and we make sure that the necessary action will be taken to ensure that we will reduce or minimize whatever suffering the people are going to face, and also to ensure that First Allied will pay the depositors their money. I strongly believe that some of them, this is all that they have. This is the fortune they've gathered throughout their life. And if they should lose this, I'm telling you, several people, if I'm not lucky, might or even lose their lives, and that will be the end of them. The banking sector is so serious that we have to make sure that the financial sector is clean. These things going on, if not stopped, is going to reduce the confidence of the general public in the banking and financial sectors, and it's not going to work well for this country. So we do our best and solve the problem. Once I said we are going to meet the management of First Allied, and also we will meet representatives of the central bank within the region and try as much as possible to solve this problem.
You heard there the Ashanti Regional Minister. My colleague Prince Apia joins us on the line. We'll also get to hear from the Public Affairs Department of the First Allied Company on what their difficulties or challenges are in paying these depositors. But Prince, I'm sure that in your interaction with these or some of these depositors, what did they say the authorities have been telling them so far?
Yeah, Mefa, what they've been telling me is that since about 4 to 5 months now, anytime they go to the bank, the savings and loans company, to find out what has happened to their deposits, they are told that they should wait till the end of the month and that officials will communicate to them. And that has gone on for the past 4 months, and they think that it is not fair and it's not something fishy. And as a result of that, they want authorities to come in to help them so that they can retrieve their deposits. They cannot do business with the financial institution any longer, and they want authorities to help them so that they can retrieve their deposits from this company, because they feel that they put their money there and they need some little bit of it to do business or to transact other business transactions, but they are unable to do that, and they feel that is not fair. That is why they decided to embark on the demonstration today.
So they masked up at the premises of the banks. We've heard the regional minister, for instance. We are still working the lines to see if we can get the public affairs manager of the savings and loans company. But did they address them officially, for instance? Do we know?
Not the officials of the bank, but it was the regional minister who addressed them. As of now, the officials of the bank have not addressed the customers officially, and they feel that the officials are, hiding away from them. They go to the bank, the offices of the savings and loans, and they realize that it has been closed down. But some of them tell me that they know that some of the officials find their way into the banking hall to transact one or two, business and all that. But they decided not to speak to customers of the bank. So they feel and they smell something fishy. That is why they decided to go on this trend, and they are going to continue until something is done about it. If not, they will even come to Accra and continue with the demonstration.
We're grateful. That's Prince Apia there, our reporter on the ground, interacting with some of these customers. Like I said, also, the public affairs manager of the First Allied company will also be joining us shortly. They had agreed to speak to us, but we're still working the lines to see what their reaction is and what their challenge is with paying these depositors their monies. But they've given a 1-week ultimatum. We'll see how that pans out. But as and when we're able to raise them, we'll speak to them. But the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research, ISE, is asking government to reconsider the creation of new districts. Director of Research at ISE, Professor Felix Ankuma Asante, says the move will have an impact on government expenditure. Parliament in 2017 passed a bill to allow for the establishment of 38 districts. As local government minister Hajia Alima Mahama stressed, it will bring development closer to the people. But delivering the state of the Ghanaian Economy Report 2017, Professor Ankuma Asante urged government to reconsider the decision due to the economic pressure it comes with.
The 1992 Constitution recognizes participation of citizens as a way of promoting democracy. Some progress with decentralization, and this is seen in the area of the increase in the number of districts from 65 in 1988 to 215 in 2012 and now 256. So in terms of the numbers, yes, we've made progress, but in terms of the quality on the ground, that one is subject to discussion. And as a country, are we ready to continue splitting our districts? Now we have 256. I don't know when it's going to be increased again, but we need to reflect on the creation of new districts, that any creation of a district goes with resources, and the resources is a burden on the national economy. Even though increase in the districts involves participation in decision making, which is good, but the cost to the nation is where we need to do the analysis and see how we increase the number of districts.
You heard that Professor Ankuma Asante with ISE. Now we can return to our earlier story on the First Allied company. You heard some of the customers and also my colleague tell us about the situation earlier today at the premises of the bank, demanding that their monies are paid to them. And we are joined on the line by Public Affairs Manager of the company, Jones Owusu. Thank you very much for your time here on Newsnight, Mr. Owusu. So you've heard some of these customers. They've been saying that for the past 4 to 5 months or so, they've been asking that you give them their monies, but they don't hear anything from you. What's really the situation? Why are you refusing to pay depositors their monies?
Thanks so much, my sister. Let me greet your listeners. Please, it wasn't true that we haven't come out to tell them anything. In fact, we are the financial institution in Ghana here that we are always out there. Radio stations, TV station is calling in day and out. And we are responding to them because we are just trying to address this issue to some of our customers or all of our customers. It's true that they are having challenges. Panic withdrawal affected us from 3 months ago, and we are trying to address the issue. That's why the management is always out there to explain it to them, because we haven't sit down. In fact, what has happened is not encouraged at all. And you know that the institution that we are running is not a bank, it's a savings and loans. So, my sister, about 3/4 of our money is out there that we have given it as a loan. And when this thing affected us, you know what will happen to us. So it's a matter of, we don't want to close our door because we are trying as much as possible to do everything possible to come back to operate it back again. So, my sister, it's not about, we have been calling these people, all the leaders, we are trying to call them so that they will know what we are doing. We have been there, out there, speaking to them on the market, everywhere. So, it's just that they're just trying to do whatever they want to do. Because just last week, they submitted their proposal to Otumfuo, and Otumfuo has called us. And we have also even submitted our report to the regional minister at Kumasi. And all this process is going on. And I don't understand the reason why today they started this demonstration again. So, my sister.
So, Mr. Owusu, in all this, when will they get their money?
That is why I'm telling you that we are working very hard to come back to operate the bank again. It's a matter of we have affected by the panic withdrawal. That is the fact. But it's because of this things, people have been taking advantage that they don't want to even, the returns is not coming now. Previously, when you go to the market and when you go to some of these people that they have collected the loans, they give it to you. But people are trying to see that if the bank is going to survive or not. So when you go to them, they don't want to even return these things to you.
So you don't have a timeline as to when exactly the customers will get their monies?
We made a mistake and we did some last month.
Mm-hmm.
And it was so distant that I can't really describe. And such an institution like this, when you promise, because of people are so distant that they are trying to get their money back. Mm-hmm. Do you understand? So when you give the timeline, can you imagine that you yourself are trying to collapse the bank? Because if you give a date today,
mm-hmm.
all of Kumasi and we have 27 branches in this country.
Mm-hmm.
We have 360 plus agencies that we are working with them. Though they are still working, but when you made this announcement that, okay, come tomorrow, my sister, can you imagine what will happen again?
So they should just wait until the bank decides to come back and give them their monies. Is that what you're saying?
It's not about decide back.
Okay.
We are working very hard, my sister.
Okay.
In fact, we are working very hard. I'm telling you.
We're grateful for your time. That's Mr. Jones Owusu. He's head of public affairs of the First Allied Savings and Loans Company. George Wiafe is here with the latest from the world of business. That's the situation with First Allied, and it looks like we don't have a timeline as to when depositors will get their monies.
It looks like it's an industry thing, and a lot of them are also facing the challenge. And MFI, Issa, I've been speaking about the fact that the outlook for the economy is quite positive despite the current challenges. We'll also be telling you what the Ghana Revenue Authority is doing to firms that have done a fix the tax stamp on their product. Let's now settle for the details. And the Institute of Statistical, Social and Economic Research says the outlook for the economy is good and sound. Now, this is despite the current challenges facing the economy, which some are even predicting that the worst is yet to come. But speaking to Joy Business after launching the 2007 State of the Economy report, the director of the institute, Professor Felix Santi, tells Joy Business these things should actually be picking up very, very, very soon. Now let's move on to the other stories. And the Energy Commercial Bank is planning to use funds from the initial public offering as well as some from private investors to help meet the new capital requirement for the bank. Now, officials of the bank disclosed to Joy Business that after the launch of its initial public offering today, the bank is hoping to raise some 340 million Ghana cedis by selling 261 million shares at the price of 1 Ghana cedis at 30 pesos. Now, there are fears that the offer could suffer some challenges looking at the timing, but the managing director of the bank, Christiana Olaoye, disagrees.
The timing is not of a concern to us in that we already have very good indications from corporate investors, both in Ghana and outside of Ghana, as to what it is they want to bring into Energy Commercial Bank. And we believe also that the public, in the 1 month period that we have, will be able to bring in their own funds as well. We don't have an issue with the timing. The current owners are not interested in retaining majority share. If they were, they would have just recapitalized by themselves. But as I said, we want an avenue for the Ghanaian public to own the bank, whether it is in corporate investors or individuals.
And that is the managing director of Energy Commercial Bank. Now, if things actually goes well, the company is planning to list on the Ghana Stock Exchange by the 6th of December this year. The bank also hopes to raise about 20% of the funds to make the offer actually successful. Now, let's do aviation news, and the gentleman who's at the center, or the Ghanaian pilot to fly one of the biggest aircrafts in the world, that is the Boeing A380, Captain Solomon Kwenu, says he is humbled by the experience. Now, Captain Kwenu today flew the Emirates A380 airline from Dubai to Accra as part of activities to mark or celebrate the construction of Terminal 3 here in Accra. So Kwenu has been speaking to the media about his experience.
I feel very, very excited and happy because from year 6 I dreamt of becoming a pilot, but never dreamt of being the first Ghanaian to fly the biggest passenger aircraft. and land it in Ghana. So that makes me very excited and very happy to be the first Ghanaian to do that. And the energy in Ghana, that would be very awesome when we land in Accra. The A380 can accommodate nearly 850 passengers and more. The Emirates configuration with the first and business class is less than that number, but in terms of numbers, we need big passengers. So we need very efficient and effective terminal where passengers can get quick access through immigration and security.
And that's the Captain Solomon Kwenu. He actually flew the Boeing A380 Emirates airline to Accra. According to the Minister for Aviation, Kovia, the historic event shows that Ghana is more poised to become the aviation hub. And that's all for Business Zone. You should have been at the Kotoka International Airport today. The excitement.
I want to be in it. I want to fly.
You can fly, of course, to be in the business class, the first class.
You can do that.
And that's all for Business Zone. Bye-bye.
George, you have with the latest from the world of business. Now, former President John Mahama is optimistic of an NDC electoral victory in the 2020 general election, but only if there is unity of purpose. According to him, the decision of some defeated parliamentary candidates to go independent after losing the primaries and what he describes as petty problems caused the NDC its heaviest defeat in the 2016 general elections. He's been speaking to some party executives at Nantong during his Northern Regional tour.
With what is going on in the party, the strengthening of the branches, the strengthening of the constituencies, by the grace of God, 2020 victory can be ours. But it will be ours only if we are united in purpose. In 2016, there were a lot of little petty problems in all the constituencies. And that is what caused us to lose many of the constituencies. Some people stood independent. Others, even though they didn't stand independent, they were undermining the candidate that we had selected. And so as a result of that, we lost at least more than 30 constituencies that we should have been able to win easily. There are many constituencies where we won the presidential vote, but we lost the parliamentary vote. And that's why we have only 106 seats in parliament. But I'm certain that in 2020, we can take at least 36 seats back from NPP. But like I'm saying, we can only do this if we are united as one and if we work hard.
Former President John Dramani Mahama. So in 3 minutes or so, Gary L. Smith and George Addo Jr. will be joining us with commentary, UEFA Champions League commentary between Under Pressure Manchester United and Valencia. But it's a technology that is yet to be fully harnessed in Ghana to boost the tourism offerings. Experts believe it's scaled up and streamlined. The hot air balloon flights could showcase some of the country's picturesque landscapes. Joy News' Israel Laye and Cowbell Ambassador Nana Banamwa took a ride up the sky on the Cowbell hot air balloon over the Afienya Shy Plains, from where Komla Adom reports.
Day 2 of the second phase of the Cowbell in the Sky project. We're here on a football field inside Afienya, which is not too far away from the Afienya police station, and the team is expected to fly from here. Would it be your first time flying on a hot air balloon?
Yeah, very first time. I haven't actually come anywhere close to a hot air balloon before.
You have butterflies already? This must be your first time on a hot air balloon.
Yeah.
Okay, what are the brief expectations you have?
Oh, I want to have fun. I'm here to have a lot of fun.
The balloon has been inflated, and right after the inflation, the air inside the balloon will be heated mechanically, and then it will take off. In a very short time, Israel Laye and Nana Banamwa will get into the basket and off the above the earth, and they will be beholding the beautiful landscape around the Afienya enclave.
Yes.
Israel, Nana, Emmanuel.
So with this you can capture the last moments of your life.
Goodbye! See you later!
Right up there in the sky on the balloon, Israel and Anaba truly behold the beautiful landscape.
You can see Cedar Quarry. See the quarry. It's a company over there. And the
rock formation. Israel, take a look at the rock formation.
Yeah, see that.
Per my calculation, it took about 48 minutes for the team to land here inside Shy Hills. Let me just speak to the team members. Congratulations, Israel.
Thank you.
You conquered this.
Yeah. Did it. So now.
Peasy. It was easy peasy. Really easy peasy.
Generally, what did you see up there?
So it was a great view. We saw a whole lot of the Accra plains like nobody has ever seen it before. I mean, because this is the first time we're having the hot air balloon go over the side. So we captured some great images. And we also saw the sunrise again like nobody has ever seen it before.
So you heard there joining us is Israel Lai, Cowbell ambassador, and he went on the hot air balloon. He took a flight on it, and he's been telling us his experience. And that's it for tonight's edition of Newsnight, half-hour edition. And you know why? Because Manchester United, under pressure, Manchester United, they are playing Valencia tonight. And Gary Al Smith and George Addo Jr., the best commentary there is, they will be providing shortly, and they join us in the studio. Gary, what are we to expect ahead of who killed the judges?
We're going to find out who killed either Man United or Valencia. Yeah, so from now until possibly 9 p.m. Let's go.